Hare Krishna. We are continuing to read the Bhagavad Gita as it is, the book by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Chapter 3, Karma Yoga, Text 25. Saktah karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tatha saktash Chikirshur loka sangraham. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. Purport. A person in Krishna consciousness and a person not in Krishna consciousness are differentiated by different desires. A Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not conducive to development of Krishna consciousness. He may even act exactly like the ignorant person who is too much attached to material activities. But one is engaged in such activities for the satisfaction of his sense gratification, whereas the other is engaged for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act and how to engage the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Text 26. Na buddhi bhedam janayed agyanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidvan yuktah samacharan. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in a spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities, in brackets, for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Purport. Vedascha sarvairaham eva vedya. That is the end of all Vedic rituals. All rituals, all performances of sacrifices, and everything that is put into the Vedas, including all direction for material activities, are meant for understanding Krishna, who is the ultimate goal of life. But because the conditioned souls do not know anything beyond sense gratification, they study the Vedas to that end. But through fruitive activities and sense gratification regulated by the Vedic rituals, one is gradually elevated to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a self-realized soul in Krishna consciousness should not disturb others in their activities or understanding, but he should act by showing how the results of all work can be dedicated to the service of Krishna. The learned Krishna conscious person may act in such a way that the ignorant person working for sense gratification may learn how to act and how to behave. Although the ignorant man is not to be disturbed in his activities, a slightly developed Krishna conscious person may directly be engaged in the service of the Lord without waiting for other Vedic formulas. For this fortunate man, there is no need to follow the Vedic rituals, because by direct Krishna consciousness, direct Krishna consciousness, one can have all the results one would otherwise derive from following one's prescribed duties. Jai. Text 27. This is such a key verse. Very important. One of the foundational verses of Bhagavad Gita. According to me. Yeah. Prakrite kriyamanani gunaih karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Purport. Two persons, one in Krishna consciousness and the other in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature, which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna. The person in false ego takes all credit for doing everything independently, and that is the symptom of his nescience. He does not know that this gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of Krishna, in Krishna consciousness. The ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Rishikesh, or the master of the senses of the material body. For due to his long misuse of the senses in sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by the false ego, which makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna. Wow, this is such an important verse. I remember my Guru Maharaj gave a very inspiring and illustrating class on this topic. He was saying about how when we think we are karta means doer. Karta ham iti manyate. Krishna says that we are vimudha. Mudha means a fool or an ass, like a donkey. Vimudha, like really, you can say really stupid, or really, what we said already. Not to offend anyone, but because this is really, I wanted to say insane, but I should say preposterous that we would find ourselves karta. Everything is carried out by the three modes of material nature, by the energies of the Lord. And the part that we actually play in all of this is really not in proportion to the false ego that we have over all of this. And this is third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, but in further chapters this topic will be more and more revealed, how we are not the doers. And to think about it, like, it's really something completely, you can say, earth-shattering if you think about it. You are not the doer. Everything you've done, all the mistakes, all the successful attempts at anything, you were not the doer. It was done by the three modes of material nature. Hence, later on, Krishna will be saying to Arjuna, Nimitta matram, you become my instrument. And many times even modern therapists or modern some inspirational, motivational people, they also say that we feel that we are instruments. We feel that we can become like a part of something divine. So energy can come through us, but we are not the doer. And I really like how, I just noticed how Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he says that person in false ego takes all credit for doing everything independently. He takes all the credit. But we see that great saints and spiritual masters, they do incredible things. Like Srila Prabhupada, he is the example. He distributed Krishna consciousness all over the world. He has written like so many books, more than 50 books, thick, big, incredible projects, flying around the globe 12 times, alone, single-handedly. He started everything. He would never take credit for anything. He would say that this is the mercy of my spiritual master, this is all by the blessings of my guru and Guru Parampara, and he would say that he's just trying to be a servant. One time he said that I'm the servant of the Lord, and then he corrected himself. He said, I'm trying to be, because to be a servant of the Lord is a very big thing. So this is really the gold standard. You can see that, I don't know, I just feel that the more we I wouldn't say take the back seat, but I would definitely say that the more we understand where is our seat, I can't say it's like the back seat or the back of the back seats, but you're sitting on this machine of material nature, and you are doing something, and it will be discussed later on what exactly you're doing. But you're limited in your actual activities, because basically everything is carried out by the three modes of material nature, just like we discussed previously. The demigods, they're in charge of our senses, they're in charge of the material elements. The three modes of nature will be discussed. They're very powerful energies. Jai. It is such a topic for me personally that because I've been through many lessons where Krishna just Krishna can give different lessons in order to teach us some subject. So this particular subject of how we are not the doer, it came to me through very challenging situations where I had to just face that Krishna is the supreme controller, he is the supreme enjoyer, and I am definitely not the doer. And if we maintain the mentality of we're the servant of the Lord, then everything works out in the best way. And if we act with that consciousness, as soon as we think that I am the doer, the false ego just spoils everything, and we forget our eternal relationship with Krishna. Jai. Today is Radhashtami. It is the appearance day of Srimati Radharani, and she is the internal potency of the Lord. And every day we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is the appeal to the Lord so that He would engage us in His devotional service. And technically we are praying every day that we stop being controlled by these three modes of material nature and we become instruments in the hands of Srimati Radharani, so she engages us in devotional service to the Lord. So I think we're going to stop here for today on this very very deep and very, very important foundational crucial points in spiritual life. If we get this, then all of the rest of the equation would be right. Just like Srila Prabhupada said that if we understand that we are the soul, we're not this body, then everything, the calculations further will go fine. But if we calculate everything perfectly, but in the beginning we forget that we are not this body, we're the spirit soul, then the rest of the calculation is wrong, whatever you say. So similarly, I find that with this particular verse, it's the same. If you think that you are the doer, that you're all in all and you take credit for everything, I'm sorry, this is ahankara vimudhatma. We're like great asses, real donkeys. It's so wrong. But if we understand that, if we are not bewildered by this influence of false ego, we understand that we're not the doer actually, that everything is carried out by the three modes of material nature. So what we can do is we try to develop, to remember, first of all, our relationship with the Lord and act in that service. And then even though Prabhupada says externally it seems like people are working on the same level, it may appear there's no difference externally, but there will be a gulf of difference because your consciousness will be different. Haribol! So thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. Please check out our website shravanamdiaries.com and we shall see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.